Hello everybody, it's Kim Mott, and today I'm going to talk about smoothies. Smoothies are a big thing now. It's actually a really great way to get a lot of nutrition into a really small portion without overeating. It's something that you can really experiment with, different flavors. You can have them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending on what you put in them. And it's a fast thing to do on the go. You can have them all ready for the morning when you're leaving for work and just whip it up real quick in your blender and you're out the door. And it's delicious. So I want to show you a couple of my favorites. I have so many recipes for smoothies. I love to just use what I have. If I have, for instance, I have some very ripe bananas that I know that I'm not going to eat. I don't like them this ripe, but I will use them in a smoothie because they freeze well, and freezing fruit is a great way to make it really, really creamy and thick and delicious, kind of like a milkshake. So this is what I usually do, how to freeze my bananas. I'll just take a parchment paper on a sheet pan, and I will peel my banana. Really easy, just take the knife and run it down the peel, and then just take the peel right off. I mean, everybody knows how to peel a banana. I don't need to show you how to peel a banana, but this is what I do. And then I just take it, and I take a knife, and I just cut it into big chunks so that I can just easily put them in the freezer, and once they freeze, after a few hours, you can take them and put them in a zip bag, and they'll be just like ice cubes. So I have some right here, which I'm going to show you in my smoothie. My smoothie cups hold 16 ounces. So I like to get my calcium every day into my diet, partially using almond milk, unsweetened almond milk. You can use any kind of milk. You don't have to use milk. You can use water. You can use juice, whatever you want. But I choose to use unsweetened almond milk. So I have 8 ounces of almond milk. And here are my frozen bananas. You could portion them up so you can just grab a pack and go, or you can just, portion it out of your big zip top bag. But I just happen to have a portion here. It's about a half a banana. I don't like to add too much of a banana. It's all about what you want. And I love peanut butter, but sometimes I don't want my smoothie to be too caloric, because by adding 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, you're adding a lot of calories and a lot more fat. Though nut butters are a very healthy fat, so I don't want you to not use that. But sometimes you just, you're trying to cut back on your calories. So I'm going to use peanut butter powder. This is 100% ground peanuts that they defatted and did not add anything else. So this is no sugar, no salt. This is just plain ground peanuts. Use whatever you want. They have tons of peanut butter powders out there. Some of them are chocolate, and it's delicious. So what I'm going to do is do this. I put my peanut butter powder, and that also adds protein. But I'm going to make it even better, because I have chocolate protein powder, which I love. I'm just going to add a little bit of that. And if you want, you can add a little bit of water. You can add vitamins, whatever you want. It's just a great way to add a lot of nutrients. So my chocolate protein powder happens to have a ton of antioxidants in it. Cocoa powder, anyway, is loaded with antioxidants. It's really good for you. It's very healthy. It's low in sugar. So the banana is going to add plenty of sweetness. I don't need to add any more than that. So I'm just going to whir this up in my blender. And the bananas are going to keep it nice and cold because they were frozen, and it's going to be so delicious. Oh my God, they're so good. You would never think this was healthy. This would be actually a great thing to give your kids instead of giving them a big bowl of ice cream that's not healthy. This is at least something that they'll love, and it's healthy. Sometimes at night I'll have a sweet tooth after eating dinner. I'll feel like having a little something sweet. I'll whip myself up a small one of these, so it's not a whole meal, but just enough to cure my sweet tooth. So that's just one. Another one I love to do is, let me do this one. Once again, my almond milk. I have spices here. Spices, certain spices, actually all spices, pack a lot of nutrients into a small amount. And something like turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory, it's very good for you. I'm going to add a teaspoon of that. I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground ginger. Ground ginger is really good for you. Actually, fresh ginger is just as good if you don't have ground. And cinnamon. Cinnamon is a really good antioxidant. Not only that, but it tastes really good. So I'm going to add some of that. I am also going to add a healthy fat, which is my avocado. Avocados are so good for you. They say nowadays, instead of an apple a day, eat an avocado a day. They're loaded with monounsaturated fats, which is really, really healthy. Oops, I don't want the peel in there though. All right, and I'm also going to add a handful of super greens. You could use spinach, you could use whatever you want, but this is a mixture of all sorts of different greens. I'm just going to add some of that in there too. Press that in there. I'm going to add, this one I'm not going to add chocolate or vanilla. This is just a neutral tasting protein powder. I'm going to add a scoop of that so it doesn't have a flavor. And I'm going to add a little bit of sweetener. You can add whatever sweetener you like. I just happen to be using something natural. And I just rinsed off my little blender top. And I'm going to whip this up. Now this is a power green smoothie, and it's really, really healthy. And it's actually kind of a pretty color. I like it. And the avocado makes it nice and thick. It's really good. If you like the taste of ginger and cinnamon and turmeric, it's a little bit more savory than a real sweet one with fruit in it. So this would be a really good lunch, actually, or a healthy afternoon snack. It's perfect. And you can add whatever you want to it. Just use your imagination. So I have one more that I'm going to share with you. I have all sorts of fruit. I love chopping up apples and putting it in the freezer. Really easy to do. You just do it the same way as the bananas. Put it on a sheet pan, put it in the freezer, and when they freeze, just put them in a bag. Grapes are a really easy thing to freeze. First of all, frozen grapes are delicious on their own. It's just like eating little nuggets of sherbet. This is also a great way to cure a sweet tooth at night, too. But grapes, just after you wash them, make sure they're really dry so they don't stick together, and take them off of the vine, and they just freeze like little nuggets of ice cubes. So, of course, you don't have to freeze your fruit, but I love to because it just makes it so creamy and cold. So this one, I'm going to use apples. I'm going to make this like an apple pie. How good does that sound? This one could also be great as a dessert. So I have my frozen apples in my almond milk. I'm going to put some cinnamon in it. You can use, of course, apple pie spice. And vanilla protein powder. This protein powder is already sweetened. It's loaded with lots of healthy nutrients. So I'm going to add my protein powder to that. And that's it. This is going to be an apple pie. If I can find my top, there it is. An apple pie smoothie. And you can also always add greens to your smoothies. You're not going to taste it at all. So it's just a great way to add more vegetables to your diet, healthy vegetables, especially if you don't like greens. A lot of people don't. I just happen to love everything. I'm not a picky eater, as you can tell. So I'm going to whip that up. And it's pretty. I love the color the greens add. You don't have to add greens, of course, but that is so good with the apples. And it's also a great way to use up fruit that you have sitting around that nobody ate. Just chop it all up, put it in the freezer, and it's ready for you. It won't go bad. This way you can just have fruit in your diet easily. I'm not the biggest fruit eater myself, but I will put them in a smoothie and drink my fruit. It keeps all the healthy fiber that's in the apples, in all the fruit. All fruit has fiber. It keeps everything in there. And you can even grind up the seeds of a fruit. Not a big pit because you don't want to wreck the blade of your blender, but seeds have a lot of nutrients too. So you could use extracts. I love buying natural extracts. This one happens to be coconut. Freeze some chunks of pineapple. Put some coconut extract. You can with some vanilla protein powder, and you can make a pina colada smoothie. How does that sound? And this one's almond extract. I have so many different extracts. One of the things I love to do is I'll open up a can of pumpkin and I'll freeze them in an ice cube tray. So I can make a pumpkin pie smoothie. During the year, you know, it's fall, you feel like having pumpkin pie, but pumpkin pie is not so healthy. So have a smoothie. Use vanilla protein powder with chunks of frozen pumpkin. Oh, it's so good. And you put pumpkin pie spice and you whip it up and it's delicious. It's one of my favorites. I really look forward to that during the fall. But you can have it any time of year. So this is just a few ways to get great nutrition into your diet, into your kids' diet. My husband loves smoothies for breakfast. And you can add high quality protein powders. If you don't want to use protein powder, you can add Greek yogurt, because that's a great protein. There's all sorts of things that you could do. So I'm going to post some great recipes that I use for smoothies. Over the year, I've done so many concoctions. During cherry season, black cherries come out. I will pit a whole huge bag of black cherries, put them in the freezer. Chocolate black cherry smoothie. Oh my God, it's so good. You can add coffee. That's another thing. I love adding coffee to my smoothies. It makes it like a mocha smoothie. And it gives you that little burst of caffeine if you need a quick pick-me-up. So there you have it. A whole bunch of great smoothie recipes. I think you should try them in your diet. They fit really easily in your diet. And you can have a lot of great nutrition without having a huge plate of food. So until next time, I will see you soon. Happy smoothies. Happy blending, I should say.